buffet mode. They're seeing everything on the menu before they decide what to eat, and so they might just move because they're like, well, this is good, but what else is there?
You know, we have an invasive vegetation problem in the city of Lenexa. Our goats are here eating up all the invasive vegetation that we have growing in this streamway and riparian zone. So invasive plants in a riparian zone can be harmful because they will choke out the native vegetation. They will have shallow root systems, which makes the soil more easily eroded when we have big rains. So native vegetation will hold that soil with its deep roots. The biggest one that we deal with is a bush honeysuckle that will actually kill other plants that's around it. We also have like wild grape, which can climb a tree and choke it out and kill a tree, which will then fall in the creek, causing flooding. So there's a lot of reasons why we like to have native vegetation and get rid of that invasive vegetation in our streamways.
We chose Sar-Ko-Par because it was a highly visible area. It's in a park. It's a highly foot trafficked area where people could see and engage with the goats. Not so much engaging in petting and feeding, but looking at the goats and ask themselves what's going on so they can engage with the education component.
Other spots along this park, there are rocks, there's areas you cannot get with a mower, and it would be dangerous or inconvenient or unpleasant to send a guy with a weed eater. And the goats think that's great. To them, it's more like a jungle gym. So they happily deal with terrain that we wouldn't like. When they're eating invasive species, their digestive systems are strong enough that it will neutralize any seeds they ingest. So they will digest every bit of that seed that goes through their systems, and so they don't spread these species any further.
In your home, usually most people don't have a lot of invasive, but it's good to remove them. Pull them out of the ground if you can. If you don't want to use herbicides, that's fine, but pull them out of the ground. Dispose of them in the trash so that seeds don't spread everywhere else. If you put them in a compost pile, if you use your compost, you're just going to end up replanting the same invasive vegetation.
The whole park we're doing a corridor, all in all, it's about 2.5 acres. So I'm guessing they're going to be here, you know, 2 to 3 weeks. They're big kids, they can take care of themselves. People usually ask me about predators. Am I worried about predators? Generally, no. There are 40 goats in here, 50, 60 pounds minimum, with horns. It's not an easy meal. So I know a lot of people have concern about predators. I really don't worry about it. We have never had a coyote attack goats on a project. It's just not an easy enough meal. They're surrounded by this electric fence. The fence is as much for them staying in as for other stuff staying out. So it's a very tested system, and we wouldn't bring them here if we didn't feel secure about the project site.
One of our biggest pollutant in our surface waters in Lenexa is litter. Our crews go out and we pick up trash every month out of our stormwater best management practices. We also clean those 22 miles of streams once a year, and typically we pick up over 500 bags of trash out of our streams every year. So if people would stop littering, that would probably be the best thing and the easiest thing that everybody can do. Aside from that, you know, just not dumping things down storm drains. Everything you dump in a storm drain, whether it be leaves, grass clippings, paint, chemicals, it's all going to end up in our streams. So if you just don't dump stuff in the road, don't throw it on the ground, it'll keep it out of our water.
The biggest thing is please look but do not touch. I welcome people to see the goats, enjoy the goats and the process, but please don't handle them, don't feed them. Just watch and enjoy. These guys have been around enough people that they're not overly spooky, they're not gonna bolt away from you, but please just be quiet and respectful. Please keep your dogs on a leash. Again, they're not terrified of dogs, but many dogs, even the friendly ones, just want to play. That will scare the goats. The dogs don't tend to respect the fence as well as coyotes, so please keep everybody on the outside of the perimeter fence. I will be coming back for the Spinach Festival, and I'll be bringing some of my bottle babies, super friendly baby goats that love to be pet and cuddled and played with. And I'm always happy to have folks come up to my farm if they want to get a closer look at the goats or work with them or see what it's like to do chores. While the goats are here working, please just let them work.